Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's the final days of our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Good evening, everybody. It is Sunday, January 5th, and this is Doing the Thing. I am Lekhika Chaudhary, and I am here with More Than a Muse's Sadie Anderson.
Hello.
And as well as Girl in Low Places, Katie Atkin.
Hi.
Hi, to talk about everything that's happening in our worlds this week. So girls, how are we? If we start with Sadie, how are you doing this week?
You know, I'm feeling really good. I'm finally recovering fully from the flu that I amazingly got over the holiday season. So I'm feeling back. I'm feeling ready to get this year started.
I love that. Amazing. So if to everybody listening live, before we start chatting away and get distracted, because I know that's going to happen, if you're listening live on Wizard Radio Station, where we do the thing live every Sunday from 8 p.m. UK time, here is how you can get involved. You can tweet us or DM us on Instagram and Twitter at Wiz Radio. You can drop us a text 078 071 83538. Email us, station@wizardradio.com. And as always, all of our contact details are on our website, www.wizardradio.com. So, hi guys. First of all, happy New Year. We are 5 days into the new year. Did everybody have a nice Christmas, nice winter break, whether if you celebrate or not? Nice New Year's? How was it?
I don't know. I'm feeling anxious. I don't know about anybody else, but I find the new year a lot of pressure. And I feel that you come off the back of a Christmas. Sometimes you have a great Christmas, sometimes you don't have a great Christmas. And then you're plunged into this new year. Girl boss, get fit, get healthy, things happening, be the best you can be. And I think sometimes I just like to lean into it slowly. All of which you're on a hangover doing often as well. You've gone out for New Year's Eve. So I'm trying to do 2025 New Year and keep it chilled. I don't know about anybody else, but that's where I'm at the moment.
No, I get that. I was sick and still am at the tail end of my illness, and I had a lot of traveling over the holiday period. So I want this to be a very gentle start to this year. I celebrated New Year's Eve with my brother at an airport in India because our flight was at 3 a.m. on the 1st of Jan. So which is like the third time this has happened to me, by the way. I need to maybe plan my life a little bit more.
Did they do the countdown?
They did the countdown. There was cheering. Everybody got.
Wait, I feel like that's kind of magical to be surrounded by strangers in a place that no one would obviously want to be in that moment, but yet still be counting down together.
No, and it was quite nice.
Such rom-com.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we were in a coffee shop, and they came around and they gave us all little cupcakes. Like, it was very cute. I was like, you know what, this is nice. I am shattered, but I appreciate you doing this for me.
Yeah. They saw that this was a very unideal situation and they fixed it for everyone. Yeah.
Like, maybe it would be like actually quite a good place to go if you were lonely for New Year's Eve. Just go and pretend to catch a flight. You'll be surrounded by people, you'll get cakes, and you'll have a lovely time. You never know who you might meet. Great.
That's so true. That's
a life hack.
I don't know if my airport fit is like the right fit for meeting a person. I looked like my brother, and I don't think that's a very attractive look to be, because we were dressed down identically, down to our sliders. So I don't know if that's the most attractive version of me that I want anyone to see.
I always find the people who meet people on flights or like airports, like really, I find that mythical. It's stuff of myth and legend, but like it can happen. I met someone at the luggage conveyor belt once, and we swapped numbers in New York, and and we got a taxi together to our, the area. It was very taken. I'm surprised I'm still here to this day, but it can happen. I do agree with you. You're never looking your best, so it's mad when it does.
Yeah, no, honestly, my mom is the person who makes so many good friends with people when in airports, on the plane. She's friends with this person who she sat next to on a plane to India, and she's gonna go visit her in Italy. And I was like, I don't know, this is safe, Mom. Like, I don't know about this, bro. Like, what do you mean? She's like, no, I know the girl. We talked. I know where she's from in India. And I'm like, I don't know if this is safe. This doesn't track. I don't think this is not a vibe, Mom. Not what we should be doing.
That's amazing, actually, though. But I feel like the person, though, who can make friends with strangers in the airports, like, that's a person that would be trusting, That's the kind of person that would hop on a plane to go and meet the new friend. Yeah.
No, honestly. But yeah, so 2025 is here. Are you guys resolution people? This is what I want to know. Are you someone who sets resolutions, or maybe you have things that you're looking forward to this year? Like, where's everyone's head at?
Now, as far as resolutions go, there is a part of me that does think that, like, the symbolicness of a new year, like, sure, it's just another day, but I do like the idea of starting fresh, and I like the excuse to start fresh, At the same time, though, like, the only things I'm trying to do this year, I really want to go to the beach. I want to see the ocean. Don't know when I'm going to make that happen, but that's like, as I was thinking and getting ready, because I knew we were going to talk about this today, I was like, what do I really want? And I'm like, wow, actually, my only resolution is to go on vacation. So I think that I can manage that, though. I have 12 months to make that happen.
I love that. I think resolutions is a really heavy word.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like people always want them to be like super serious, right? And I saw this thing on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and it was this girl talking about how her resolution was to just eat every different type of pasta. And I was like, that's great. I just want to set fun resolutions for myself. I was like, this is great. I would love that. I love pasta. So like a resolution to eat every different type, sign me up. Like, how do I sign up to her resolution?
True. And you know what? I don't think in a normal year I usually eat every kind of pasta. So if you were making a concerted effort to do that you'd have fun stories by the end of the year.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
No, honestly, I think the beach thing is great. I love that. That's super fun. I think this year I want to make more of an effort to reach out to my cousins and just to try and, now that we're all adults, to try and form, I feel like it's going to be down to me, but I feel like to form more of a connection and a relationship with my cousins. I think that'll be a fun one, because there'll be arguments, but there'll also be fun times. So I feel like that's a good fun one to add a little spice to my life.
Is your family like spread out, or?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in India and the Netherlands. So I have family in around 11 countries. So I think trying to maybe arrange something where hopefully I'm going to try and get them to London, because then it means I don't have to go anywhere. But London seems like I'm pitching it to them. I'm like, it's a home ground, people from Asia, it's close. People from North America, it's close. I'm like, I don't, let's all meet in London. So I think that's my little fun resolution for the year.
Lovely. Do you guys know? I'm sure you've seen her, Mel Robbins. I'm obsessed with her new book, Let Them. So it's this concept that if you have a negative thought, something happens in your life that you're frustrated with, and you're trying to say, oh, I wish this person would just da-da-da-da-da. And instead you just sort of answer that problem for yourself by going, let them. Just let them. And I think I want to bring a lot more of that in my life, like release things, just let them be, and just like realize that like nothing is in your control other than yourself. I think that's a big one. But also generally, and this is back on my New Year pressure rant, I think that like I just want to be a lot more present and a lot more realistic. I think, we're coming out of like what feels like a 15 years now of social media being so intense in our lives, that I just kind of want to step back and feel like the grass and like see the trees sway and all that stuff. Maybe that's because I'm having some sort of midlife crisis. I don't know. but I definitely think like I want to tune out a little bit more, even though, you know, lots of our podcasts and our jobs all need that to sort of survive and thrive. Tuning out, I think, is a good thing to look to do and kind of like mellow it out. Yeah.
Totally. I've also seen people talk about how like their goal is to like create as much as they consume or something like that with like the internet and social media, where it's like you go on it more intentionally, kind of like with the idea of taking inspiration as opposed to just being mindless and thoughtless with it. So I think, like you said, part of what we do, you have to, but yeah. And this has just bought us an hour of doom scrolling after this show. So true.
we're in luck.
I love
and
it.
I'm planning on cashing in. Don't worry.
I love that. No, that's a very good idea. I think we end up being on social media so much, and it's so easy to excuse it, right? It's so like, oh, I'm on it for this reason, or I'm on it for this reason. A couple of years ago, I think it was just pre 2020, so just before COVID, somebody told me that on iPhones you had a screen time thing in your settings. Now I've always been an Android girl, and I still am. And back then Android didn't have this feature, so I downloaded this app which told me how many times I opened other apps and like how many hours I spent on these platforms. And I was like, oh my god. And since then I've locked all of my platforms, so they lock at 1 hour. But it's so easy to just override it. No, I say this and people are like, that's great. And I'm like, no, but you don't know how many times I've overridden it.
Yeah.
So I think I really like the idea that, you know, create what you consume. That's you know, I like that thought.
Yeah. Is that just an Android feature, or can you do that on iPhone?
You can do it on
just
iPhone.
Be Oh, you can. Oh, damn! I
thought
I found a loophole of how I can still scroll more.
No, I'm pretty sure because it's in-app features. So Instagram is like, you use your daily allowance, and I'm like, okay, fine, if you insist. Yeah. I'm like parenting myself. I'm like, you can't use it anymore. I'm like, damn it.
I've dated 2 boys recently who both have Androids, and I tell you, the next guy I date is going to have an iPhone, because I think sometimes men with Androids, I think it's a red flag. I'm like, what is happening here that you think you're like different to the rest, that you think you've got a better deal?
We committed and I cannot uncommit now because the effort of moving everything.
Maybe it might make a bad radio show. I'm like, tell me more about Android, and then I'm like, hang on, no, this is the sort of question
like everyone
I hate
listening, and they're
people.
like, what? Listen, I committed. I got Samsung a very long time ago, and now jumping ship is going to be impossible. You know, transferring WhatsApp and everything.
Fair.
I'm just old and tired. I think that's.
I
think I should have committed to jumping at 15, and now I haven't done it. You know, I'm fine. I think I'm okay with Android. My sister hates it.
We've all made our bed.
She's perpetually in this phase of, Didi, can you please come to Apple so you can play games with me on iMessage? Please, I want to play iMessage games with you. And I was like, at this point, I might get a second phone to play these games with you, but I don't think I can change my main phone to Apple.
I love get the second phone so that your sister will finally leave you alone.
Mm-hmm. So
sometimes that's what it takes. Yeah,
like a drug dealer, but just
literally
sister.
This is my real phone, it's my trap phone, but it's the only contact in it is my little sister. Yeah. Maybe that's what I should do this year. That my resolution for her should be to get something Apple so I can play these games with.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say get like an iPad and iPod Touch if they even make those anymore, and then you'll be fine.
iPod Touch. Those that brings back memories.
Truly though.
Well, the little shuffles that everybody wanted in every color.
Yes, I had a blue one, and I thought I was, glamorous with that bright blue iPod Shuffle. To be honest,
I love it,
and I bet you had glamorous.
I absolutely did. Yeah.
Okay, so talking about music, is there any, are there any concerts you guys are looking forward to this year? Anything that you've booked or you're ready for? Or, is this, because for me, usually I have things that I'm like, okay, I'm going to book this. So I know, but this year I feel like I have nothing. I don't know what is coming up. I don't know who is singing. I don't know who is performing. So I feel like I'm very out of the loop with it. So I think we've lost
Katie.
her.
I cannot hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. Here we go.
Oh, you're back. Yes.
I'm back. So basically, my podcast is called Girls in Low Places, and we talk about country music gigs in the UK. So we've got loads of gigs coming up that we're going to be going to. But the one that has the biggest piece or point of contention is the Zach Bryan gig in Hyde Park after all of the allegations about his treatment of women. And because we're a female-led podcast, I am unsure as to whether I am going to go and cover it, even though it's going to be one of the biggest concerts in the UK for country music. And there'll be some amazing support artists there as well. That'll be really big. But I am in two minds. I just don't know if you can separate art from the artist. That's just, that's something I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do about that.
It's tricky though, isn't it? Because he makes such good music. And
amazing.
You know, I like, there are so many of his songs that I love, and they put words to feelings that I'm feeling that I don't think I could put to. And then you hear this stuff and you're like, because you relate so much to music, and I feel like you can connect so much to songs. And it's so hard to separate him from his music, because it feels, I don't know if tainted is the word, but it's cast, obviously. It's like, how can the person that who is producing this art for us do the things that he or you know, in any general case is doing? It's tricky, because it's the reason that there are so many singers and bands that I stopped listening to slowly but steadily. But it's not easy. You're right. It's really, really hard to do that.
Yeah. Were you following all of that then when it all came out with Rihanna and everything? I'm sure.
I was deep.
Every TikTok, everything that was ever created.
Yeah, I was in there, and I watched with like a white knuckle grip. As then the internet has now turned against Brianna for all the Grace podcast drama. There has been so much going on, and I just think that it's really interesting, like music in this age that we're in, where we get a real insight into people's personal lives, not just from what they put out there, but also what we can create, as in, like, you know, everybody has a phone, everybody can capture things, everybody has a platform, people can speak out. That, you know, the way that people used to buy out, you know, information or silence people before is just not happening. And I think you can feel there's like a storm brewing of, like, maybe there's going to be some legalities put in or something, because it just feels like everybody has the right, including us on all of our podcasts and all of our, you know, to say anything. And what are the repercussions of that long term? What does celebrity look like with all of those things happening? I don't know. Maybe it's too big of a question. I'm going.
No, that is so interesting, especially though with like social media. Like, anyone can go viral in a moment, and, you know, who knows what they might have to say. And yeah, it's a great point, honestly.
No, to be fair, I think one of the things,
and a lot of time it's fake news.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna say, sorry, I talked in the middle. I was just saying that the UK is very, very slow with legislation when it comes to social media and the internet. We only recently got a bill, and, you know, and that was something that should have been put into place at least 10-15 years ago, you know, back when I was in high school. And so the fact that we are so far behind is that this conversation that we're having will probably be legislated to governments after this, you know. And that is something that when I studied law in school, we were all talking about how we're like, okay, but this is something that's people are going through now, you know. Yes, you have legislation about people saying horrible things on the internet, but it's not, that's not the main focus of it. It's just a little sentence inserted into an old legislation, and it's not up to date with all the new social media platforms that crop up all the time. So you're right, you know, it's so easy for everyone, and everyone gets involved in everything, and it's so easy to jump into conversation, which is what we do, but there's no oversight, and that is an issue, and it will become a bigger issue long term for sure.
Yeah, there's going to be a precedent put in, but I actually live for the gossip, so I believe everything I swipe and tap, and I'm like, oh my god, I love it. Yeah, but yeah, there's got to be a limit. There's got to be a limit.
But in the meantime, I'm glad that I get to be around to watch it all happen in lifetime. Yeah, at the very least, I'm
in the right era of life. Yeah,
in a gossip.
I'm so glad I wasn't born in the 1800s.
This is the era I should have been born in. 100%.
I love it. I think, guys, that's a good time for a quick break. And to everyone listening, we'll be right back with more conversation just after this next short break.
And we are back. So I want to bring up something that I'm going to be honest that I personally haven't seen a lot of, and I don't know a lot of about, but I trust that maybe you guys can provide some thoughts and commentary on it, because Meghan Markle, it's been announced that she has a new Netflix series, With Love, Meghan, that's coming out. And I feel like people have a lot of things to say, and I just want to open this up to just overarching thoughts that you guys might have on this Netflix series that's coming out, because apparently people have a lot of hot opinions and I don't really have any. So please share.
I mean, anything Meghan Markle touches, it de-influences me immediately. If she says she likes flowers, I'm like, no flowers. I hate flowers now. Like if she was holding the elixir of youth, I'd be like, not for me. Meghan likes it. I am not a fan. I feel like she is just scrambling. I think it's like, what I'll try my hand at this. Oh, it hasn't worked. I'll try my hand at this. It hasn't worked. And it just comes across so disingenuous, such an insult to people who do have something to say on the lifestyle topic and the lifestyle genre. I know that it seems like she's ripped off and a lot of other creators and a lot of other people within trying to forge whatever she wants. And I do think that, like, obviously there's space for more than one person in a field, but she just gets it tone deaf every time, or her management or her PR. Someone's getting it wrong, I feel, because we've all just seen this and gone, no, not for me. Lots of people are just confused and like, what is she doing now? But you know what? There are still some people who are going to enjoy it and watch it and love her a lot. I speak from the side of the camp that is scoffing at it, I will say.
I agree. I think I didn't see anything to do with her releasing it. I saw a side-by-side comparison of her and another creator, and it was identical, right? Like the scenes, the cinematography, the angles, the conversation. And I was confused. I was like, okay, like you said, obviously there's space for a lot of people and there's overlap, and we are all bound to talk about the same things at some point, and lifestyle is a niche in the sense that it's a certain area. So sure, okay, there's repetition. The comparison was like damning. I was like, oh, this is like they've read this other woman's show and literally made this identical. And then it was like, oh, this is a recipe she's going to present on her first show, and it was that woman's recipe that she had made up. And I just thought, I was like, why are you doing this? Like, it's just why? Like, I understand you have a deal that you signed, so there's a certain amount of money that you have to make. Like, there's a deal she signed with Netflix and stuff. But it seems like one of the things that she put out was, I don't want to be in the public conversation, which is the reason we're in America. And now she's like, by the way, here I am. And people are like, well, we're just trying to respect your wishes, sort of thing. So I get what you're saying. Disingenuous seems to be the right word. It's just not, there's something that's just not striking. Yeah. Like I just don't want to watch it. Even sometimes I'll watch things, even if I know I'm not going to like it or I don't like the person, just to see and understand. Like this is not going to be something that I watch at all.
That was my next question is, will you be tuning in anyways, but not even to hate watch?
No.
Hey, look, this is what I love about TikTok is you can get the little click.
Yeah.
You can get the clips, you can see what everyone's saying, and then you can kind of like make your own sort of thoughts on it. But I suppose that's sort of the thing is with that extract sort of mentality of TikTok of like, I'm not watching the full thing, I'm not watching the full episode, and yet I'm forming an opinion of it. I suppose it also comes down to that sort of Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni debate that's going on at the moment, where there are camps of management of different celebrities who are doing these sort of hate TikTok campaigns against people. And how much can we believe when we see something about Meghan, for example, and the internet's blowing up and going mad? Do we know if that is some sort of anti-PR campaign that the Queen of the King have hired years ago that have now smeared her for years? Or is it Meghan's own camp? Maybe she is trying to create a stir around this so we all tune in and she gets the numbers. So it's sort of like, I mean, that's conspiracy theories now, but like I just think the whole thing is so interesting. They seem to be getting it wrong every single time with Meghan, and it's almost like it's deliberate. it feels like it's so wrong.
No, you're right,
it's
because
deliberate.
It's like everything that she does, like the podcast, like everything seems to just not work, and it doesn't make sense for someone who's so high profile and will have a really good team behind this. It just makes no sense as to why it doesn't work. It's not built for us, you know, like we're not the right people for it. It's her fans. And she has, right? No, what I mean that she has millions of fans, and if there's so many people who are in her camp and are also disenchanted by the whole thing, like something is not right.
Also, I just think that like that kind of the lifestyle, obviously, you know, division is still booming, and we all want to like, you know, look at affluent people's houses and Architectural Digest and all of that stuff and be like, oh my God, how did they curate that? Like that's still alive and well. But I think in general, there is a big thing that's happened in the last couple of years where people want to see reality. We don't want to see a curated edit in a beautiful soft lens. We want to see what Meghan's actually doing. We want to see Meghan on the sofa with no makeup on, you know, bitching about someone. That's the Meghan we kind of want to see, the real Meghan, or the Meghan that was not so, you know, crisp and clean and perfect all the time. We want to see the raw stuff, the funny stuff, the stuff that made Harry fall in love with her. That's what we want to see. And then we would relate, and then we would all get on. I feel like the haters would sort of calm down. I feel like there's almost like a sort of lean into her being this sort of unrelatable villain almost. Like it just seems to be like, I feel like it's almost like there's more commotion around that if we go more into that. I don't know. There's something to me that isn't. They have the best management in the world, surely. You know, they have, or some of. And I'm sure they have many crisis teams coming in to look at all of this. And some of the best people in the world would be working on her image. And they just don't seem to get it right. And I just want to know why. Like, what's happening? Like, there's no reason now. She could have an arc where she's, you know, a hero arc at this point. I don't know.
It's easier to make people dislike her than to make people like her, right?
Yes.
I feel like it's so easy to get social media, everyone to be like, this is someone that you just don't want to like. And it would be a lot harder to give her a redemption arc just because of the way things have been against her. And I feel like they're just feeding into this conversation. And maybe the show will be nice. Maybe it'll be lovely. Maybe she's been inspired by this woman who also has her own show. Sure. But it's so easy to just not like her. But I feel like it's now going to start working so against her to the point where even if this is a marketing tactic, it'll stop working at a certain point, you know?
Yeah.
Do you think they're trying to make us not like her so much that then we like her?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then suddenly that the internet turns on someone again, and then actually we turn around and go, hey, this is too much. We want to support, because, you know, everybody loves an underdog, you see? Yeah. It kind of goes in that you live long enough to the hero to be the villain. There is a phrase for that. I
get what you're saying. I don't know what it is.
And then it goes round like a pendulum. You know, and I think that she is due a redemption arc. She's had many years, you know, slumming it, sort of like having a hard time. So she's due it. So I just don't understand why her team have sort of gone down this route again.
That's honestly a pretty funny conspiracy theory almost, of that they're like, you know, someone in her team is like sabotaging on Perfect with like they're playing chess, we're playing checkers, you know, of like, no, you don't understand. Like, they will all hate her, and suddenly it will be the contrarian opinion to like her, and then it will switch. Just trust the process. But I don't know. I feel like if that was me, I'd have a tough time being like, yeah, let's sabotage myself to see if the world turns on me.
I'm going to victimize myself and on the internet because I think it's going to have a really effect later on. No, I don't think so.
The long game.
Yeah. That's some long game to really play. Yeah. But I think that's a good point when you brought up like Blake Lively, because I think that it was so interesting to see how so many people so quickly turned on her, because I think that's a celebrity that a lot of people, at least like in my circles, really liked, and then very quickly kind of all turned on her. And then to like see how those things have come out, like I see all these people kind of being like, oh, I guess I fell victim to the smear campaign. Like, I guess it worked on me. And I don't know, it's kind of been interesting to see people react to it and kind of realize like, oh, maybe it's not a conspiracy. And also wonder where else that could be happening with these like public figures. It's crazy.
I think the interesting part of the Blake and Justin thing is also the fact that people are now starting to realize that they don't have to like her to believe her
Totally.
and what she's gone through, right? Like you don't have to be her biggest fan to then take her at her word and say that, okay, you've gone through this. I understand that you've gone through this. I believe that you've gone through this, regardless of whether you like her or not. Because I think the whole her movie and the way that she was, advertising it, I think that, but also a lot of people love her, but a lot of people also just didn't really like her. And it was very interesting to me when this conversation started, because I was always like, she seems like a nice enough, her and Ryan Reynolds, cute couple. And I was like, they seem like a nice couple. But then when this conversation started and I started talking to my friends, I realized that a lot of people just didn't like her at all in the beginning. But a lot of them were like, yeah, well, it doesn't matter whether we like her or not. If she's saying that this is something that she's gone through and she's, gone to the lengths of filing, going like, this is a big step that she's taken, then we believe her. It doesn't matter if I like the actress or not. And I was like, that's a really good thought process to actually have.
Mm-hmm. Because then it doesn't matter, if you think she promoted the movie weird, that can all be true, but it still doesn't take away from, like you said, the experiences.
And I think she was being advised by to promote it in that way, to by his team or by the productions team, I think, or something. So it sort of, I think she realized how it was going to be landing, because they were trying to veer away from the fact that it was such a heavy topic in the press tour, but it was landing terribly for her. But one of the things that I just find so interesting is, like, have you guys read the book before the film came out of It Ends With Us?
I did read the book years ago, but I did read it.
It's a good read. I enjoyed it. It has a great message, but like the interesting thing is that the character Ryle that Justin plays is like meant to be the good-looking guy on the earth, like just and a like brain surgeon or something. So he's directing and he goes, I'm going to direct this film, and you know who I should cast as the best-looking person on earth? Me. So that is a red flag for me. And straight away I'm like, I believe everything Blake did. It was like, it's just incredible. It's incredible for him and there's so many other things come out, like, but then everyone has their skeletons in the closet in terms of what they've been online on the internet or things he had an engagement video where he looked really silly, didn't he? Like where he made the engagement video to his fiance all about himself and very vain and very so lots of people were saying, oh look, he's a bad guy. But I just it's going back to what we were saying before, like it's just, where does this end? You could find lots of different things and spin them a certain way to make the internet sort of all have the court of public opinion have a very strong aversion to you. It's just wild. Who knows what's going to happen next?
I genuinely I feel like I'm already seeing things come out like almost every day of like, and then he's filing this, and it's crazy. We can again, we talked about the internet. I am so happy to be around right now, and I can just watch all this unfold in lifetime.
Oh, so good.
Honestly. And especially when you have those TikToks where they like hyperanalyze. I'm like, thank you, because I don't have to do it. Yes. I can just listen to you do it.
Yep, I get to hear the deep dives.
Yeah, I love the iceberg information. Like I get when people go, hey, this is what's going on in this drama this week. This is what's going on in this drama. I get so invested in random drama, especially, I don't know if you guys like when you see like podcast co-hosts falling out. That's my favorite.
Yes.
Oh, I like just love them.
Because what happened between the two of you?
Well, also because if you guys like from what you guys are doing, like it's difficult to kind of like keep the boundaries of your friendship and also like then implement some boundaries of professional stuff, and like the two can get very merged together because you are ultimately, you have a friendship to be able to be on air with a co-host, to be able to have that rapport. And so just watching it all like crumble or fall apart is just like fascinating. It's like a how not to. And then I'm like,
how
make
not
notes
to.
on that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, but it's just, it's history, right? We're watching history. I mean, it's little history in comparison to the big things that happen in the world, sure. But everything that happens is someone's history. And so we're watching it live. And instead of like you said, in the 1800s, it's like that would have been a completely different ballgame. It's so fascinating. And also, I think that some of these people on the internet who are so good at finding out information, their countries' intelligence agencies should hire them. I'm not even joking at this point. Like, this is your crop. This is where you need to come. Like, why was MI5 coming to my university? No, you need to be on TikTok finding these people and be like, do you want a job? They're phenomenal at what they do.
It's like the joke that, like, the women work harder than the FBI, like finding all the information about their ex-boyfriends or the ex-boyfriend's new girlfriend. Like, give me 20 minutes and I know where she went to middle school. Like, I know where she went to high school.
Oh, it's absolutely wild. Like, I do think if you had a mass murderer, you just need to find the ex-girlfriends and then be like, look, they will know how to find this, because they've probably already done it. Like, but I think do you think it's a red flag if you are dating someone and they have no online presence? They've deleted everything. They just say, hey, it's not me. Or do you think it's a good thing?
I think it needs to be a very healthy balance because like one of my good friends, her boyfriend didn't even have a Facebook. You couldn't even find him online. And that gave serial killer to me, you know? Like you want someone who has active accounts, who hasn't really posted much in a couple years, maybe like wishing their mom a happy birthday, maybe some major life events, you know? That's fine.
Like that's even just a LinkedIn. We just want a LinkedIn.
But like, how can you not exist? My cousin is one of these new social media persons. And I was like, bro, it's weird. Like, you need
just
something.
So weird.
Why can I not put your name in and get something? Something.
Have you seen your cousin in person in the last 5 years?
I saw him last week. It's okay. He exists.
We know they're real still. Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like, do you exist if you don't exist online? I'm not saying you need to be super popular and famous and have thousands of followers, but like, where's your Facebook account, you know? Come on.
True. And, you know, maybe that's a toxic bad thing on my part, but as we've discussed, we're all products of our environment, and I think you should have some public face online, or else it's weird.
Yeah. I think it's also just like to check, to cross-reference the things that they're saying to you about maybe their past or like, if they're single, things like that. Just like it's a good cross-reference because otherwise someone could have another family and you know in a different county, and you're just you have no idea. And I just think I think it's a necessary thing in this world. But then I also love a man who doesn't want to post anything. I like a man who has no interest in parading his life on social media. So I'm very torn about this topic. It really gets me going. You know?
I feel like because I'm such a public facing person, I put a lot on social media. You know, I have a podcast. I'm literally always outward. But I think that if two people are going to be together who both bring that energy, like it needs to balance out. Like one of us has to be obnoxious online so the other one can just be a lurker, you know, like two people can't post.
I get it, but I feel like I am so obnoxious online that I don't think anybody's on unless I find myself a podcast host. So I feel like everyone else is a lot more chill than I am. You know, like I feel like.
Well, I can't wait to go find your social media accounts after this. Then.
How do you? I don't know if you guys have experienced this at anything done, but like I'm finding like with doing the podcast, like we do it every week. So you know, we're sort of doing it in live time about what's going on in our lives, and I always think like when I break up with someone, I don't want them to know what's going on in my life. So it's a really weird thing of like, you can't block someone from Spotify or Apple or anything like that. Like, you know, you can block them on everything else in life. You can't block them from listening to your bloody podcast. It's so like,
I do have to remind myself that like anyone could listen at any time and I will have no way of knowing. Like I have to remind myself that frequently to make sure I don't just say anything that I'm like, oh, I wouldn't want that person to hear. Like, no,
I think I need to listen to your podcast because my show is very current affairs, politics. Very little do I talk about myself. Like I throw in my anecdotes, but I don't think it's that interesting. So unless you want to hear about, you know, different countries and the political powers and what's happening in the news, that's when you can tune into me.
I'd probably be a more well-rounded person if I did. So.
Well, you're probably going to be reading the news about how I've been kidnapped by an ex-boyfriend of mine who knows exactly where I am because of the podcast. So that'll be the news next week.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Well, I think it's pretty much due for a break then right now. So we can go ahead and get that started and then we'll be back for our last segment in a couple minutes.
Welcome back, everybody. I think you guys are missing out by not hearing our conversations that are happening in the break, but we will not tell you what's happening in that. But I have a little fun statistic for you guys. It is estimated that in the UK, we have less than 10 DVD rental shops, just 10 in the UK, right? So I wanted to know who still rents DVDs, but also on a much more fun thing and bringing back the conversation we had earlier on, what is a piece of old technology that you guys still miss?
I think the only people who still rent DVDs are people who live with their boomer parents still, because my mum and dad still have a DVD player in the top bedroom. And I don't know why, but my parents, I think, are they just don't throw anything away. They just think there's going to be a use for that DVD player at some point. There isn't. We have everything online, but they still got it just in case. But yeah, I can't believe the Blockbuster and everything is just, that used to be a Friday night. They used to be popping off in Blockbuster, but no more.
When I was home visiting with my family for the holidays, me and my little 15-year-old brother, we went, ran some errands, whatever. But we saw an old red box where, it'd have all the DVDs that you could rent just outside of the pharmacy. And it was oh my gosh, do you remember? Every weekend we would come and rent the DVD and pick it out together. And I do think that there was something very fun about that ritual of leaving the house to go find the movie together and as siblings trying to argue about what movie we were all going to watch. There was some fun in that now I was a little nostalgic for it when I realized that oh, now we just have literally like you said, everything's online and all the streaming services that we have access to and have subscriptions to that there's so many options that it's overwhelming. Maybe it took the fun out of it a little bit, but yeah, made me a little nostalgic for it.
No, I get that. We still have a DVD player at home that also has a VCR player because my parents' wedding video is on VCR and nobody has ever converted it. So we just have the combined one that we pop it in, right? And I think it's great because I think I want to keep it for if I ever have kids. I want to show them. I want to be look at this big chunk. Look at this thing.
Yes. Oh my God, I didn't think about that. All the VHSs that everybody has. And I think actually, I have some things on DVD that were filmed in when I was a teenager that were put on DVD. Because at that point, you just don't think that anything's going to evolve past that. You just think that's where that's going to be housed. I also think that with the, as you're saying, the ritual of going to get the film all together as a family or as a couple or whatever, I do think that one thing that I miss about that is that it meant that when you came home, you all put it on and you concentrated and you watched it because you'd paid for it. You only had it for 24 hours or weekend, and you would all watch that film, maybe even watch it twice and concentrate. Now we're so used to just putting it on and being it doesn't matter if I can come back to this, or someone calls me, or I'm on my phone, or it's in the background, or the magic of that is lost. And I feel like a film now, when you put on a film, it's not necessarily as much of a quality time experience as maybe it used to be, with a group of people. It's kind of more of a passive thing.
Yeah, do you guys still to go to the movie theater?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Sorry.
My family, we love the movie theater. We take turns in choosing the movie, okay? Because my mom always wants a Punjabi film, my dad wants a Hindi film, my sister and I usually want English films. So we take turns. So then the next go is someone else's go, and then everyone's happy. But I love the movies. And with my phone network provider, we get £3 movies, which is great because cost of living crisis. So we love the movies.
Yeah, I think that going to a film is I feel like it must be having a bit of a resurgence, because when something actually good comes out, when Wicked came out, I was I am going to the cinema. I am immersing myself in that world. I have waited for this since I was 15 years old. This is happening. I think that is now more of because before I feel like everyone would be I'll just wait until it comes out, or I'll just get a DVD of it or whatever when we were younger. Whereas now, and I won't spend the money at the cinema. Whereas now, I feel like that's such a sacred thing to go to the cinema and actually just tune out for a whole a couple of hours and really immerse yourself in what someone has created. And yeah, I think it's having a new sort of rebirth. And I love the everyman cinemas where you can go and like get a drink and sit on a sofa and like feel like, you're having
Bougie
a fancy
cinemas.
time.
Like, bring me my meal to my tip.
Yes. And I took my puppy to a cinema the other day, which was so cute. They had like blankets and like water and like doggy popcorn. And I was like, and all the dogs were like saying hey to each other, and everyone was very well behaved. There was no barking throughout the film. That was an experience too. So I think, cinemas for the win, to be honest.
I don't think I have bougie enough movie theaters where I am at here in Nashville, because I can't even imagine that happening, and that sounds magical. So good to know that
that's because Nashville is a movie. Nashville is like, there's always something to go and see. There's always like you're not short of anything wonderful to go and keep you entertained. Whereas down here in Surrey, there's the woods and there's Netflix, and that's it.
And then a country walk is like a 3.5 hour walk, because A, you somehow get lost, and B, then it gets dark at like 2 p.m. and you're like, where am I? What direction am I going to? What 3 words to try and get home?
Yeah, and then you arrive at one of the 10 blockbusters that are in the UK, and you're like, brilliant, I'll get a DVD out. That'll save us.
That'll save me.
Made my day.
That's so funny. Do you guys have any like older technology that you still like to use?
I don't think I have any that I like to use anymore. There's loads around the house. One thing about Indian parents is they don't throw away old phones. Don't ask me why, but we have a drawer of phones. So ever since we moved to the UK, all the phones that we just have them, and they're not usable. Right, of course. That's like the oldest Samsung in the history of Samsungs. Like, it's not a usable phone. But if anyone wants to know my life history through phones, I can just place them and take a picture of it and be like, this is how old I am, figure out using the phone I had in year 10. Like,
are you working for Samsung? There's a lot of product placement going on with this Android.
It's what it feels like, but I opened the drawer the other day and I was like, this is too many phones for no reason in this house. Like,
but there is nostalgia to like an old phone, like a Nokia 3310, like let's play Snake, like that sort of stuff. Like, and the clicking of the buttons on a BlackBerry, like that. God, yeah.
Being able to type. Or the slide phones that you could slide that keyboard down and type.
Yes. My first ever phone was a slide. Like, it was a slide up. Oh, beautiful.
Or the drama of a flip phone. Like, see ya, talk to you never. And you're out. Like,
and like angry texting is not the same now that we have to do it like a screen.
No,
I miss the clicks, the taps.
Yeah.
So much more of a power move.
So much more. Like, you'd let out a lot of your anger that way.
Absolutely.
I think like the simplicity of like a Tamagotchi, or like like those little game things that you used to play, like a Nintendo. Like, I suppose that's all kind of gone a bit lost now, because we all just have phones which we can do pretty much everything on. But like, I liked that. But then you don't need it, but I don't want to use technology as much as possible other than my phone and my laptop, because then when I want to like not do that, I want to go back to, like before. I feel like in our childhood, in my childhood, in like the 90s and the early 2000s, like I wanted to get on MSN Messenger. I wanted to get on a laptop or a phone, because like we were not bored, but like we were living real life 80% of the time, and 20% of the time be on technology. Now we're living 80% on technology and 20% of the time in real life. So I feel like the nostalgia that we get from those old, like the VHS you're talking about, like that sort of, and the clicks and stuff like that, is because it takes us back to a time where we weren't consistently on this really fast operating technology that was just so much information all the time.
I agree. And I think it's just the fact that everything is now at our fingertips, and it's all the time, and it's constant. And back then it took a while to get onto the internet if you were on a desktop, and it took a while to do everything. And I think the slow pace is what we miss more than the fact that we're on all of these different pieces of tech. I think that's what it is.
Totally.
Right? Because it was worth it because it took a little bit longer to access. I think that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that,
but we would also be really frustrated with it.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Like, how dare you? Even now, sometimes I'm like, why is my internet slow? Why is someone on the phone and I am not on the internet? Like, how dare you?
Yeah, we'll remind you of that. Remind you of that next time something's slow. You want a slow pace. Yeah.
Yeah.
Relax. 2025, the year of relaxation. Slow the internet now.
Slow our internet down. Yes.
And that, guys, is all we have time for on Doing the Thing today. Thank you, Sadie and Katie. Where can our listeners find you? Sadie, if you want to go first, where can our listeners get you?
Yes, we are on More Than a Muse podcast, a podcast all about women artists. So come say hi.
How exciting. And Katie?
We are Girls in Low Places. You can find us on all platforms. And yeah, we are about country music in a UK vibe.
Amazing. And listeners can find me live every Sunday at 12, where I talk about all things current affairs. And everyone, remember to catch new episodes of Doing the Thing live on Wizard Radio Station every Sunday from 8 p.m. UK time, and on all podcast platforms from Monday morning. We'll see you guys next week.